Hello and welcome back to 47 and Counting. My name is December. I am a 14-year-old alter in Gray's system. And I use he, they pronouns. If you would like a fun fact, my favorite song is Bleak December by Set It Off. I had a video idea about 2 minutes ago. And I decided I really needed to get it out while I was thinking about it. I'm a very introspective person. If I could just record my thoughts and post them, I would probably do that. But getting them out is a little harder for me. If I'm in a really great writing flow, then, whatever. But especially, videos. Videos are very hard for me. I get this thing where if I'm not really comfortable with someone, my mind kind of goes blank. It's like a defense mechanism from trauma, I think. But, I literally can't think of a single thing to say. I just completely freeze up. And I get like that with the camera. I know I need to clean the bong, don't at me. The video title is this: The Turmoils of an Ever-Growing System. I was just doing a little think, and I was thinking about, for context, I've split recently, and our memory as a system is a little bit more connected than I've seen represented in media. I've met plenty of other systems like me, where we all pull from a generally similar pool of memory. The dissociation doesn't take out chunks for us, or even divide them among parts, which I think would be very hard and unlivable as a polyfragmented system if it did. So I'm very grateful I don't have to deal with that, really. But yeah, it more so makes things blurry, or some things get taken out in chunks, but it's not like I am at breakfast, I switch, I am now at dinner. It's more like the last few days are all a blur, and a lot of that is mixing with my ADHD, my depression, other disorders. There's plenty of reasons I have a bad memory. That being said, despite being a new alter, and by new I mean maybe a week old, I really don't know. I remember what it was like when there was 6 of us, 15. For context, there's about 45 of us now, if I'm counting correctly. I might be rounding up too much. I think there's at least 40. And we've just been splitting like it's a game, racking up as many points as we can, obviously not intentionally. I certainly wouldn't brag about something like that. But I do remember that, because let's look at it this way. I'm trying to decide which part of the timeline to start in, because there was the part where it was the host, Stephanie, and Conan. But then Remus split, and then Sunny split. So this is a little complicated to talk about, because this is back when we went by Miles, and Miles is actually a alter of ours who we always were under the assumption that Miles was the agglomeration, whatever that word is, of us trying to be a singlet. And that now that I'm saying that out loud, which this isn't the first time I've said it out loud, but now that I'm saying it out loud and with hindsight, I realized why that doesn't make sense, because why would randomly Stephanie, Conan, Sunny, Remus be very developed and then pair the leftovers, you know? Like, that doesn't really make sense, but that's what we thought it was until Miles re-split and we realized he was just the host. And that had happened once before. We went by Virgil for several years, and Virgil was our host in that time. And yeah, so let's look at it this way. Miles, Stephanie, Conan, Remus, and Sunny. There were 5 of us. I remember that so well because I remember that it was a really hard time. But we had just gotten into Minecraft Legos, and Conan. So during this time, Miles and Conan were constantly at each other's throats, and Stephanie was constantly pulling them apart and trying to settle matters and, you know, being Stephanie. And I remember the only time we were all really calm and content being in the same body was when Conan would babysit Remus, because Remus split as a little. He is now identifying as an age regressor, as an adult age regressor, because he kind of aged up. But he doesn't regress very often. But at this point, he was exclusively a little. And Conan would babysit him, and they would play Legos together, and sometimes Sunny would join them. And I guess I'm just thinking, there are so many alters like me, December, who don't really have that special relationship. And we probably never will, because there's too many of us. Because we have one brain, we can't keep up with all these relationships in our one brain, you know? And I think even me, who has Winter is my sister, we split around the same time. We're both 14. I think I'm an age slider, now that I recall the last time I fronted. Because all sorts of ages have appeared in me, and that's not normal for our system. At most, our system has like 2 ages, as in they're an adult or they regress, or they're like Casper, where Casper is either 4 or 14. But I just kind of appear randomly. I don't know. I need water, and all we have is this Dino sippy cup. So yeah, I really do miss when our system was smaller. In therapy, we started to work on fusing alters, because we were like, okay, well, we're obviously not happy with a system this big, so how do we get it smaller? Fusing people, having people go dormant. And that is a thing you can healthfully do, but the thing is you have to be ready for it. And my therapist read us this thing in one of her books that was like talking about a system who had 2 alters who consented to fusing, and they did this ritual where they they both picked a paint color and they imagined it mixing, and they held hands and they gave away something, I don't remember, something insignificant, and they fused. And I remember I was just crying the whole time. I think it was Waylon who was fronting, but they were just crying, and our therapist was like, I feel like you didn't hear that as the celebration it was meant to be, you saw that as a funeral. And we were like, yeah, no, we definitely saw that as a funeral. That was very difficult. That felt like death. And so we don't really know how to get around that. Hi, Gator. Why you meow at me, honey? He wants to cuddle. See his little tail? Oh, there's the gator. No, you can't go up there, my love. So, yeah. Basically, the gist is I am an ever-growing system. I am polyfragmented. I split under the smallest amount of pressure. I've BPD. I feel big over the smallest number of things. I split 6 times in October, and I think November may have beat that. So, I am growing. And I think I will continue to grow until I'm ready to start trimming back. Who knows when that'll be?